Okay. Hopefully you figured out how to pass the users into the list where we're going to generate some users. If not, that's fine. Don't worry about it. We're going to do that now. So what you're going to want to do is quit this so I can get rid of that ugly red. Hold on. There we go. So what you're going to want to do is same way you passed a prop to header, we're just going to pass that same prop to lists. This is really nice in React. You can kind of share data between components, and React will do the work of actually making sure they stay updated, which is it's pretty awesome. And just do a sanity check here before doing anything fancy. Just look and make sure that list indeed has a prop called users, which is an array of objects. Okay, so far so good. Now this is already getting a little repetitive. We can use a little ES6 trick to avoid writing list of users more than once, like that. Now I know that looks kind of crazy. It's called destructuring. And all it is, it's the exact same thing as doing this. In ES5. Okay? It's not the exact same thing, but it is, there we go, users, sorry. It's not the exact same thing, but pretty much the same result is achieved like this, okay? So that way, we can just remove the list of users reference and everything will still work, right? So this users identifier kind of has its own, its own place in the code. You know, it's not, you don't need to write list of users for JavaScript to know what you're talking about, okay? So just to keep things a little easier to work with, I'm actually going to go ahead and change this to contacts. Oops. Just so we don't get super confused. Yeah, there's no... Okay, so I hit an error. See that? And this is a very lovely debugger, isn't it? So, cannot read property length of undefined. Well, why do you think that is? Well, so what did I change here? I changed the name of a prop. And if you'll recall, props is just an object that's getting passed into header. To fix that, I need to change this as well to contacts. See that? Right? And we can verify that it is indeed an object just by console logging the props. Let's do that here. See? Object. Plain JavaScript with a property called contacts. Okay? So, now that we have users inside of the list, right, we can start to do something interesting with it. So let's try to render a user's name. So for right now, let's just grab one user. So one user maybe, or first user equals props dot users at 0, like that, because it's an array. We'll just grab the first one for right now, and let's console.log first user, and then fix that error that just popped up back there. Okay. That was my fault. It's contacts now. Trying to avoid confusion and just ended up confusing myself more. Okay, so if we look in here now, you can see this is coming from list.js, line 6 here. We can go look, and would you look at that? There's that user. Cool. So now we can actually start doing something with this, right? So you would just pick out a property you want to render. Let's just start with Fred's name. Okay. So let's say we want like first user dot name, dot first. See? Okay, Fred. So far, so good. Could do the same thing with his last name. Okay. And we'll just do last. Fred Martinez. Oops. Yeah, let's add a little space. Keep those things. There we go. That's better. Fred Martinez. Nice. What else do we want to do? We still have this thing logging in the console. How about his address or the city where he lives? That sounds good to me. So let's just get rid of this. Okay. Oh, well, I'm gonna pause. Why don't you pause for a second? See if you can do this on your own. I think you can get it. It's gonna be virtually identical to what we did up here. All right. So if we want to render the city and the state, let's say. So let's say he lives in first user dot city. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Dot location dot city, and maybe state. Let's add a comma too, so it'll show up kind of nice. Oh yeah. Got to put a little space in there. Okay. There, that's better. Actually, just to be consistent, let's put this over here. So, and then let's grab one more property. Go ahead and feel free to pause and do it on your own if you want to. In fact, I encourage you to. Could even grab a picture. Oh, yeah. See if you can do that on your own. So we can replace this li with an image tag. Source equals, and we'll do, let's see here, first user dot picture dot thumbnail alt equals, and then actually for the alt I can just use his first name if I want. These props are super flexible because they're just JavaScript. And save that. Let's see if we get any errors. Look at that. I mean, that's what Fred looks like. It's pretty cool so far. I'm actually going to put this up here. Maybe I'll use the small instead. The small image. Whoops, that's not one of them. Let's see. Medium. Okay. See, so I could keep going on my merry way, just building out this little user card thing here. It's pretty cool, huh? So, get rid of that. Let's do a little bit of cleaning up here. So, you see I'm calling first user over and over again. First user, first user, first user. So, I can just go ahead and say, I can just look at visually like all the props that I am pulling off of first user. Picture, name, location. Okay, so I can do picture, name, location, and do equals first user, like that. It's the same thing as what I did over here, you know, on line 7. It's just I'm kind of splitting it onto separate lines. So then every first user instance here, just get rid of that. Let's see here. How about now? There we go. So save. Let's see. Missing a semicolon. Fix that. Still works. Everything still works. And as you can see in here, we've got all that data that we rendered. There's even his first name and the alt. So looking pretty good so far. So now, what if we actually wanted to generate one of these little contact cards for every user in that list? You know, so like if more contacts came back from the API at any point, we would just generate cards for them as well. So let's take a look at that in the next video.